Hello, everyone. We are back. We had minor technical difficulties, but we are good to go again. So, take it away, Jane.
Okay. So we're just talking about the dares, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was thinking that they could probably be considered just exaggerated personality types.
Mm-hmm.
And we had been talking about earlier personality type theory.
Mm-hmm.
Young.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was actually wondering how popular it is because I know a lot of corporations and even classes use it to get people to interact and all that.
Right.
So I guess maybe you want to go around and say what we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure.
You want to start first?
Yeah, okay. I'm an INFP, which is introverted, intuitive, feeling, and perceiving.
Okay.
I'll go next. I'm extrovert, intuitive, feeling, and judging.
And I'm an ISFJ, which is introvert, sensing, feeling, judging. But the judging, I've only got 1%, so I don't know. I'm not an expert on these things, so I'm not quite sure what that means, but it says that I don't have a big preference between judging and perceiving, so I'm not too concerned about it, because I don't think I'm a judgmental person, but I could be wrong.
Subconsciously, you could be.
I could be. Maybe this probed the depths of my subconscious, and I didn't realize it.
I actually did my senior project on this, although I don't know how much of it was actually legit.
It's a senior project. I mean,
Yeah.
like, come on.
Yeah, but you were saying with your judging preference.
Personality.
Like I was saying earlier, like wow, I'm losing my mood.
Personality?
No. Most of the population doesn't really have a preference either way. Like they can teeter on judging and perceiving.
So you can go back and forth between judging and perceiving.
So it really depends on where you are in life at that point. Like I said, I used to be an INFJ when I was in high school, and now I'm an INFP. So.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Because I know I took one of these a few years back, and I don't remember what the result was, but I don't think it was quite this. I think it was something similar. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense that it would change greatly. And I mean, as you grow older and your experiences change and everything, definitely has an impact on your personality. So it's really interesting stuff though, because like you can go online and look up what people / characters from all these fictional works would have a similar personality to you. So like I had all sorts of interesting things. I think was Cloud in mine?
Yep.
Yeah, I had Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. Like what? I had a couple other pretty cool ones. I know you guys had some really cool stuff.
I had Hitler.
Yeah, you had Hitler and Satan. That's a great combo.
So that's saying basically, like I do filming, so I should be a bad guy. Which
you should be the villain.
I could be a villain.
And I mean, you've got the martial arts background.
What's that, dude? There's heroes who can.
No, I'm just saying it would make you a scary villain instead of just someone who just sits around and plots. You could actually kick some ass.
Oh, that's like that. Okay.
Because most of the villains tend to be INTJs. Because they're supposed to be like the mad scientist type.
Yeah, that's true. Unless you're in the Expendables, and then you're Van Damme, and then you just beat people.
So I see it as this. If you're gonna base it off as, let's say, I'm basing off of Satan or something, or the bad guy.
Yeah.
I'm more the guy out in front in battle, leading.
Yeah. You're like the warrior that's like, yeah, I'm gonna, I'm not just gonna sit back. I'm gonna be up here working for my goal. And I feel like, based on that character type, not necessarily the personality stuff, but just the character, I feel like you'd be the type that doesn't really see yourself as a bad guy. Like you have a goal that you feel would be beneficial, but I feel like that's just based on the character tropes. I don't know about personality wise.
I think most villains don't though. They don't think that they're evil.
Yeah.
But
doing for their own cause, like whatever justice.
Yeah.
Like.
Unless you're Satan.
Unless
you're Satan.
I mean, even Hitler thought it was justice to wipe a whole race out. So I mean.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That was his.
He thought he was
hero-like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what humanity my ass, right? But I mean.
Exactly.
Yeah. What
Your
was
ass
it?
is humanity. My God, all of humanity is Moss's ass. It all doesn't make any more sense than it used to.
I flip everything upside down. We got it.
There are 16 types, And I think they're all very, very accurate, like very scarily accurate.
Yeah.
Like when I first found my personality type, I knew why I did the things I did, and it was really interesting.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with what I got on my test. Like it really is eerie how easily they peg exactly who you are.
Yeah.
Just file you into one of these 16 different categories. Like it doesn't bother me, but it's odd how you can be so quickly summed up.
Yeah, it basically says there are only 16 kinds of people.
Yeah. So all those posts, there's 2 kinds of people in this world. You are wrong. There are 16 kinds of people in this world. Ha!
I'm gonna go in more depth. Like, cause I'm in a psychology major, and I should know this, but kind of don't. But young. This is the Young personality theory or trait tests where Carl Jung. And he's one of the guys I do believe more in the psychology world. So, like there's behavioralism, there's all that, just cognitivism. I don't really, sure, they work, but I think more it's what was it, nature versus nurture?
Yeah.
And what he said, like, I can't remember one of the lectures, it's really, like what we were saying, it's accurate of what we are brought up, and it's scaredly, almost accurate. Like, I don't really think I have like tremendous charisma. I mean, it does say like the ENFJ has like tremendous high charisma, but I'll be honest, I wouldn't want to lead someone, but I'd rather be led.
Yeah, I have an ESFP friend, and he's the kind of guy you would describe as charismatic, very friendly. But I think intuitives tend to be a little more in their heads than sensors. I mean, that's a stereotype, but I don't know.
Like, see, the thing is, those stereotypes tend to exist for a reason.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not saying that they're right, but they're usually accurate, if that makes sense. Like, they're not morally or politically correct all the time, but they're accurate a lot. Like, so, I mean...
Going on the part, like ENFJs generally believe in their dreams and see themselves as helpers. I can definitely see that like from me. I do teach martial arts, and I do love helping others. Like I put my friends first before myself. Or in Japanese, it's like called jikokise, or self-sacrifice. Yes. And it just naturally happens. Like it bothers me first. Like it's a pain in the ass of me going into someone's world and kind of trying to help them. Not my problem, but there's like it kills me that I can't help them. I would want to help them. Like I wouldn't say it's a complex, but it's one of those things.
Yeah, I think that's a feeler issue. One thing I wanted to bring up was a lot of people have misconceptions about extroverts and introverts. Basically what being an extrovert or introvert means is, or how they determine if you're an extrovert or introvert is where you pull your energy from. Introverts, they pull their energy from being alone, and extroverts pull their energy from being around a lot of people. So that's how you get energized.
Like, I mean, I'm 1% extrovert, so meaning I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm in the lost gray area.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, from what little understanding I have, and I'm sure people will shoot me down for this, but I feel like, from my understanding, you'd be a person who you enjoy having your big groups and like doing things with groups of people and stuff, but then you also just as equally enjoy having your own free time and just doing your own thing on your own and everything. Like, that's what it would seem like to me.
Right, like for me, it does fuel me, like if I'm more with people, and if I get so much, I break. I feel like there's a breaking point, and then I have to cool down.
It's not like if you're an introvert, it doesn't mean that you hate being around people all the time. You don't want to socialize. It's more like if you're around people for too long, you get tired. You're really tired.
And it is like it mentally gets tired.
That happens to me too.
Yeah.
See, all these things that you could be learning about yourself just by taking a simple 72-question test.
Take the test.
I'll
put the link of what we when I say we, Tom and myself used. I don't know what Jane used, but
is that human metrics?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's a site. I forget what I use. There's like 2 or 3 websites where you can go and take tests, and they're accurate.
Yeah, we'll link you guys all, and you guys
Mhm.
can play around with it.
Yeah.
Maybe in the comments, just kind of say, yeah,
Yeah,
this is me.
tell us what type of what personality types our viewers are. That'd be pretty interesting to see.
I would love to see our demographic, I guess, personality types for our viewers.
Yeah.
Or listeners.
I think
Yeah. Viewers, listeners, they're watching it on YouTube, but they're listening to it at the same time.
I know most of Tumblr is introverts.
Yeah,
Obviously.
that makes
Well.
sense. That makes sense.
Most of YouTube also probably is introvert.
The commenters, not the posters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Commenters.
Yeah. People posting
viewers.
videos, very, very much not for many of them.
Yeah. I go on a forum, it's a personality type forum.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of you would know about it. Personality Cafe. Some forums are mobbed with people, and that's usually the introvert forums, the introverted intuitives.
Yeah.
And then you go on a forum like the ESFP forum, nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody there.
Yeah. And I mean, that makes sense. Like, the internet is a place to be on your own, but still interact with people.
Mhm.
So you're not going to get drained, at least as much as you would being in a real life social situation. So it makes sense. And it allows people who have like social anxiety and all that type of stuff to work around that a bit.
Exactly.
I'll throw a curveball.
Okay.
Let's say we had a second, like there's the game Second Life.
Oh no.
Are you
This is inviting all sorts of bad things.
Like I said, I'm going to play devil's advocate and throw a curveball. Is that still introvert, extrovert, or both? Are you in the same gray area as me? Because I can kind of see that same applies in video games when you're playing online.
Okay, well,
That's actually a good question.
try and travel with. When you're on the site that I took the test, they give you the option to take a test to figure out what your preferred type is, and then what your real type is. And then I think there was another one, but I forget what it was called. But usually your preferred type is the type that you admire or you want to be. So I think maybe in video games or like things like Second Life, you can kind of tweak your personality a bit.
Right.
Because you have more time to think and talk to people like that. I don't know.
Which is kind of funny. There is a research done where I read somewhere when I was doing like a summary, like a journal summary for a psychology class, and they basically said people who are at home or people who got divorced through video games because the husband, for example, person A, husband, was playing WoW too much. He also got married in the game with a male other character, and the wife just couldn't follow it, and he earned money through the video game because WoW you can do that.
Yeah.
And the wife just like snapped apparently and just destroyed everything, and it came finally in the journal like the person just couldn't work because he didn't know what personality he was anymore. He felt like that mask was shattered.
Yeah.
Go ahead. For sure? Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of what the Myers-Briggs is how you interact with the physical world around you and how you make decisions based on it. So that has a lot to do with it. So I think in video games it's easy to make yourself seem a lot different.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Cause, I mean, you put yourself in the shoes of a completely different character 99% of the time. Like, sometimes you have a completely character-created avatar, but then, even then, it's there's certain story elements. So you get that chance to kind of act out things that you wouldn't ever think about doing in real life.
Because there's not the same consequences.
Yeah.
Right.
So then you get to kind of explore that without the possible risks of going outside your normal behavior pattern. But yeah, with Second Life and stuff, I don't know. I personally would think that it's still an introvert type of a thing because you're still not you're still hiding who you are. If you're not being exactly who you would be, and I feel like most people don't in a game like that. Like they take that chance to be something completely different. So I personally would think of it as an inverted type or introverted type of a deal.
Yeah, if you guys like personality, and I'm gonna relate this back to animation. I recommend the animation Persona 4. That's basically all personality. In this, the funny thing is the tarot cards, 0 to 20. Each tarot cards are specific.
Tarot.
The tarot or tarot. I'm saying tarot just because it's the
okay.
Japanese way.
Okay, sorry.
But each card is resembling a personality type. I'll tell you more in detail and all that. So we do have 10 seconds.
We are burning through these entries. It's a little crazy. But all right, guys, we will be back momentarily.